Some recent news out of California is quite literally a breath of fresh air. The California Air Resources Board recently voted to adopt a policy initially proposed by Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom. What is it? Well, the new rule will phase out sale of gasoline-powered cars, moving exclusively to electric passenger vehicles by 2035. This is a big deal, y'all. The Golden State is the biggest auto market in the nation. Now, the board predicts that by 2037, this new rule will result in a 25% reduction of smog-causing pollution from light-duty vehicles, which could mean $13 billion worth of cumulative avoided health impacts between 2026 and 2040. Basically, fewer people are going to get sick. And other states, they're expected to follow. 17 states have adopted California's low-emission vehicle standards under the Federal Clean Air Act. And those states together, well, they account for 40% of vehicle sales nationwide. So here to discuss it all further is Democratic California State Assembly member Phil Ting. Welcome to you, Assemblyman Ting. Okay, let's start with how this new rule will be rolled out and what really has been the response from the auto industry. Are they along for the ride on this one?
Well, I think the industry in general is coming along for the ride. You've already heard various pronouncements from General Motors, from Volvo, many automaker companies who said they fully intend to be going full electric within the very near future. Part of it is of the regulations that we've been pushing for years, and part of it is just the climate change imperative. We can't have clean air if we don't have clean cars. Passenger vehicles, transportation accounts for about 40% of our greenhouse gas emissions, and of that, 80% is passenger vehicles in California.
I mean, some will say it's the future. I think that the case can be made that it is the right now, maybe not right now, but right now, very soon. Electric vehicles are better for the environment, but for millions of Americans, the cost of an electric vehicle is a non-starter. I know the American Rescue Plan has some subsidies in it, but according to the Kelley Blue Book, a new electric vehicle is more than $60,000 compared to a non-luxury gas vehicle, which is more than $20,000 cheaper. So what, in addition to the, Inflation Reduction Act, not the American Rescue Plan, but what in addition to the Inflation Reduction Act is California doing to help make these vehicles more accessible, particularly more quickly, because 2035 is around the corner?
Well, the big challenge is right now there's a huge wait list. If you want to go get a Ford Mustang or a Ford F-150, you can't get them because there's 100,000 people on the wait list. So the manufacturers can't make these cars fast enough. Tesla's got a 6-month wait list. So part of the challenge is making sure the automakers can, frankly, keep up with demand. We're doing our part. On top of the federal tax credit, you get a local state rebate here in California. So if you're under a certain amount of money, under a certain amount of income, you can get a $2,500 rebate in California. Now, again, most Americans don't buy new cars because, like you said, the price tag is cost prohibitive. Most Americans buy used cars. So we actually have a low-income program, Clean Cars for All, where a family could get a $9,500 rebate from going from a dirty car to a cleaner car. And so that's where we're targeting a lot of movement in California.
That is fascinating. Okay, so more than a dozen states have adopted California's emission standards, and many of those states are actually expected to consider following in the state's path. How do you think this could offset this long-held dominance of gas-powered cars over electric cars?
We're already moving there. If you drive an electric car, you don't really want to go back to a gas car. They definitely drive better, and plus, they're low maintenance. You don't have to get an oil change every 3 months. You don't have to take it in. The only time I've had to take my electric car into the shop is once a year. I get my tires rotated. And so, again, they drive better and they're cleaner and people love them. So what we want to do is just make sure people understand really what's at stake. Transportation, they always feel like all the pollution's happening from factories and it's happening from all the big rigs. Most of the transportation pollution is happening from you and me commuting to work, driving our kids to school, doing our errands. And so we want to make sure that we can move people as quickly as possible. We're behind. Norway, France, England, India, these countries have already started moving. The entire country has already started moving toward clean cars. So we're already behind.
My husband and I rented an electric vehicle when we were at home in Nebraska a couple weeks ago, and I have to tell you, it was very hard for him to turn that thing back into the rental, folks. Assemblyman Phil Ting, thank you very, very much.